If given a chance, would you make a vehicle just for ladies? I am sure you haven't thought the 1950s were different, but most of us don't know much about this year's cars. But that's why we have our list over here about the 5 dumbest of the worst cars in America in 1955. This pink and white creation was Dodge's attempt to appeal to women in the 1950s. But seriously, did they think a matching purse, lipstick, and raincoat would do the trick? Underneath it all, the La Femme was just a Dodge Custom Royal Lancer with a feminine touch. With its lackluster performance and patronizing concept, it only lasted 2 years before disappearing. So, was it a genuine effort to market to women, or just a complete misunderstanding of what they wanted? During the 1950s, Dodge aimed to compete in the mid-tier market, positioning the Royal between the entry-level Coronet and the higher-end Custom Royal. It was supposed to offer affordability, style, and performance. But while other brands were making bold design moves with fins and chrome, the Royal played it safe. Its engines, either a 230 cubic inch inline 6 or a 270 cubic inch V8, were fine, but nothing exciting. It had decent features, like power steering and automatic transmission, but nothing groundbreaking. The Royal didn't set trends, it followed them. The real issue? It lacked a clear identity. It wasn't as affordable as the Coronet or as luxurious as the Custom Royal, leaving it in an awkward middle ground. Buyers were drawn to more exciting cars, and the Royal faded into the background. In a time when automotive innovation was booming, the Dodge Royal struggled to stand out. Today, it's mostly forgotten a car that failed to make its mark in an era of bold advancements. Next up is Kaiser Manhattan, thanks to its original 6-cylinder, 226L head engine and high dramatic transmission. This was the era of big steering wheels, spacious bench seats, vent windows, and loads of chrome. This Manhattan delivers on all of it. But have you ever seen a car company try to survive by slapping a new look on an old model? That's exactly what Kaiser did with Manhattan. In a last-ditch effort to stay relevant, they took their outdated 1951 model, added a ton of chrome, and called it new. But can a fresh paint job really hide an aging design? Manhattan struggled with its outdated look, underwhelming engine, and a price tag that didn't add up. It was almost like Kaiser was asking, how much polish can we put on this before people realize it's the same old car? Spoiler, they noticed. With sales crashing and the company on the brink, was the Manhattan Kaiser's last hurrah, or just the final nail in the coffin? Everyone thinks every Chevrolet is a gem, but what if I told you that some of their models are so underwhelming they don't even deserve a name to describe their lackluster style and overall poor design? Don't get it wrong, I am just talking of the 1955 Chevrolet 150, which was part of the iconic 55 Chevy lineup. But it was the most basic and stripped-down version compared to the more popular Bel Air and 210 models. So, why is it often considered a misguided choice in retrospect? The Chevrolet 150 was designed as a no-frills, entry-level car. It lacked the flashy chrome trim and stylish details that defined mid-50s automotive design. Consumers at the time were drawn to cars that offered a sense of glamour and status, and the plain 150 just didn't deliver on that front. In an era when buyers were increasingly interested in convenience features, this bare-bones design made it feel outdated and out of touch with market trends. Additionally, the 150 came with smaller, less powerful engines, which didn't satisfy the growing demand for performance as V8 engines became more popular. While its lower cost and fuel efficiency were selling points, they weren't enough to offset the desire for more powerful and stylish cars. The 150 was often marketed to fleet buyers or as a utility vehicle, reinforcing its image as a workhorse rather than a desirable personal car. Meanwhile, the Bel Air was marketed as a glamorous, aspirational vehicle, making the 150 feel like a missed opportunity. Ultimately, the 1955 Chevrolet 150 is overshadowed by its more luxurious and better-equipped siblings. It's often remembered as the cheap option, lacking the style, power, and prestige that consumers of the 1950s were increasingly seeking. Ever come across a car that's trying so hard to be luxurious that it ends up looking like it's trying too hard? Enter the Packard Clipper Custom Constellation, a car with a name longer than its list of redeeming features. This was Packard's desperate attempt to stay relevant in the luxury market during the mid-1950s. But did it work? Not quite. Packard, historically known for its high-end luxury vehicles, decided to aim the Clipper at a broader audience, positioning it as a mid-range offering. But by doing this, they ended up diluting their image. Was Packard still a luxury brand, or were they now trying to compete with mainstream cars? The Clipper's confusing identity left buyers scratching their heads. The design was another issue. While competitors like Cadillac and Lincoln were embracing sleek, modern looks, the Clipper was stuck between the old and the new. It had some modern touches, like a prominent grille and new tail fins, but the overall boxy and somewhat awkward appearance didn't appeal to buyers looking for something stylish and fresh. And then there were the quality issues. Packard, already struggling financially, cut corners on the Clipper, leading to problems with reliability and craftsmanship. At a time when other automakers were pushing boundaries with innovations, the Clipper offered nothing groundbreaking. It was, by all accounts, a conservative and uninspired choice, especially in a market where consumers were craving excitement and progress. Despite Packard's hopes that the Clipper would help them regain market share, it didn't resonate with buyers. Sales were disappointing, and instead of revitalizing the brand, the Clipper became another nail in Packard's coffin. Seriously, if you have to put custom in the name of every car, does that really make any of them special? It seems like Packard was just trying to throw everything at the wall to see what stuck, but nothing did. Ultimately, the Packard Clipper Custom Constellation is remembered not for its luxury, but as a car that symbolized the beginning of the end for a once great brand. Last, but certainly not least in our parade of automotive fox pass, is the Studebaker President Speedster. Have you ever seen a car that looks like it's going fast even when it's standing still? Well, the Speedster managed to look slow even when it was at top speed. Studebaker, in a desperate bid to inject some sportiness into their lineup and attract younger buyers, decided to give their staid President model a major makeover. They slapped on a flashy two-tone paint job, added a plush leather interior, and threw in a dashboard full of gauges that could rival an airplane cockpit. But despite all this glitz, the Speedster was still powered by the same underwhelming engine and mounted on an outdated chassis. The Speedster's styling might have been eye-catching, but its performance fell flat. Priced to compete with genuine sports cars, it was caught in an awkward position offering a lot of show but little to back it up on the road. So, who exactly was this automotive mullet business in the front, party in the back supposed to appeal to? Was it meant to lure speed-hungry young drivers, or just those who wanted a fancy-looking car without the actual speed to match? The Speedster's flashy exterior and lack of substance left many wondering if it was more of a gimmick than a genuine sports car. As we look back at these automotive flops from 1955, you may just wonder, what were some of these companies thinking? Were these cars simply ahead of their time? Or were they doomed from the moment they left the factory? One thing is clear, these 5 vehicles remind us that even in the golden age of American cars, not everything that sparkled was gold. What do you think about these automotive missteps? Leave a comment below and let us know. And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on our next deep dive into car history.